New video from the FDNY shows the moment a lithium-ion battery explodes, causing an e-bike shop to go up in flames.
Honda's swappable lithium-ion batteries are making a major impact on the electric vehicle world. In just 3 minutes, riders can swap out a dead battery for a fully charged one, eliminating the long waits typically associated with charging stations. This innovation is a huge win for urban commuters and anyone looking for a faster, more convenient way to keep their electric bikes running smoothly. Rapid battery swapping technology. Honda's mobile power pack is one of those ideas that seems so obvious in hindsight that you wonder why it didn't happen sooner. It tackles one of the biggest frustrations of electric vehicle owners, long charging times, by offering a simple, efficient alternative. Instead of plugging in and waiting for hours, you just swap out the depleted battery for a fully charged one in about 3 minutes. This portable, swappable lithium-ion battery redefines convenience. No more searching for a charging station, no more worrying about whether you'll have enough charge to get home. Whether you're commuting, running errands, or relying on an EV for work, this system makes electric travel seamless. With a quick battery swap, you're back on the road in less time than it takes to grab a cup of coffee. It's the kind of practical innovation that could make EV adoption easier, especially for people who don't have access to at-home charging. Honda first unveiled the Mobile Power Pack, MPP, at the 2017 Tokyo Auto Show, and it's been evolving ever since. By 2023, it had become even more efficient, running at 50.4 volts with a solid 29.4 amp-hours of power. What makes it even more impressive is how lightweight and compact it is. Weighing just 10.3 kilograms, it's easy to carry and swap out without breaking a sweat. At 330 millimeters high, 192 millimeters wide, and 177 millimeters deep, it takes up surprisingly little space. Unlike bulky, cumbersome batteries that require serious muscle to move, the MPP is designed for convenience. No awkward wrestling, no complicated installation, just grab it, swap it, and you're good to go. Honda has clearly put thought into making the battery as user-friendly as possible, ensuring that anyone, regardless of strength or technical know-how, can handle it with ease. This quick swap system is a total game-changer, especially for people who use electric vehicles, like motorcycles and scooters, in cities. Urban commuters are probably the most excited about this because it makes their lives so much easier. Imagine you're on your way to work or running errands, and your battery dies. Instead of sitting at a charging station for hours while your bike gets juiced up, you can simply ride up to a mobile power pack station, swap out your dead battery for a fresh one, and keep going. It's faster than grabbing a coffee in most cases, and you're back on your way with minimal delay. That's a huge improvement compared to the traditional EV charging process, which can take hours and leave you stuck in one spot. For commercial users, like delivery services or people who use electric vehicles for their businesses, the MPP is a real win. In those fast-paced environments, downtime means money lost. So having a battery swapping option that takes just minutes is a major boost to productivity. Plus, it's a more sustainable way to keep vehicles running without having to invest in slow and cumbersome charging infrastructure. The big advantage here is that Honda's MPP solves one of the biggest pain points for anyone considering an electric vehicle: the long wait times for charging. With this system, charging time isn't a deal breaker anymore. It makes EVs way more practical for everyday use, whether you're commuting to work, running errands, or even using them in business operations. It's one of those little innovations that smooths out all the kinks of electric vehicle ownership and makes the whole experience feel a lot more like the convenience you'd get from a gas-powered ride. And it's not just about making the swap easy for one brand. Honda and its partners have bigger plans. Standardization efforts. Back in April 2019, 4 of the biggest players in the motorcycle industry, Honda, Kawasaki, Suzuki, and Yamaha, teamed up to take on one of the biggest challenges in the electric motorcycle world: the battery. They formed the Swappable Battery Consortium for electric motorcycles with a clear and ambitious goal: create a universal battery system that works across different brands and models. This collaboration was a game changer. Instead of dealing with proprietary batteries that only fit specific bikes, riders would be able to swap batteries seamlessly, regardless of the brand. No more worrying about whether your battery would be compatible or struggling to find a replacement. The plan was simple: standardize battery technology so that any electric motorcycle could use the same swappable power pack. If successful, this system could make electric motorcycles far more practical, reducing range anxiety and making long-distance travel a breeze. Fast forward to March 2021, and they made it official. The consortium nailed down a set of specifications for a standardized battery system. With this new setup, riders could easily swap batteries between different bike models, giving everyone a much smoother experience. No more stressing over whether you'll be stuck waiting hours for your bike to charge. You just roll up to a station, swap out your dead battery, and you're back on the road in no time. It's like charging, but without the wait. How's that for convenience? But Honda, Kawasaki, Suzuki, and Yamaha didn't stop there. They decided to take it even further. In March 2022, they teamed up with INEOS, a major energy company in Japan, to launch Gachako Inc. This company's main mission: to create a battery-sharing network across Japan, using their newly standardized swappable batteries. The idea is to make sure there's a battery swapping station within reach for anyone riding an electric motorcycle. That way, if you're out and about and your battery's running low, you don't have to panic. Just find a nearby station, swap it out, and you're good to go. No more worrying about running out of juice in the middle of nowhere. As these battery swapping stations spread and become more accessible, the whole idea of owning and using an electric motorcycle becomes a lot more practical. Riders won't have to deal with the old concerns about charging time or battery life. Plus, with this system, we're talking about way less hassle for everyone, whether you're commuting in the city, taking a weekend ride, or using your bike for work. The goal is to make electric motorcycles more reliable and convenient so that more people are confident switching over to electric. And the collaboration between these big brands? It's a pretty big deal. By working together, they're not just making their own bikes better. They're creating a universal solution that could benefit the whole electric motorcycle community. The more brands that get on board with this, the more the idea catches on. And before long, you could see a world where swapping batteries is as easy as stopping for gas. This system isn't just about making swapping easier, it's also about making life more convenient for riders everywhere. Enhanced user convenience. Honda's swappable battery system, featuring their mobile power pack, is a total win for anyone who commutes in the city. It makes getting around a lot smoother by tackling the usual pain points of electric vehicles, like finding a charging station and waiting around forever for your bike to recharge. With the MPP, you can just swap out your dead battery for a fully charged one, and boom, you're good to go. It's perfect for urban riders, where charging spots can be hard to come by or, worse, already taken when you need them most. One of the standout bikes using the MPP is Honda's EM1e, a slick electric scooter designed with city travel in mind. The EM1e is made to fit one MPP, which gives it enough juice to handle daily commutes around town. When that battery starts to run low, no big deal. You just pull into one of Honda's battery swap stations, remove the old battery, pop in a fresh one, and you're back on your way. It's super quick, about 3 minutes, so you won't be sitting around for long. It's fast, convenient, and keeps you moving. What's even cooler is how portable the MPP is. You don't have to rely on public charging stations if you don't want to. If you've got the right setup at home or even at the office, you can charge the battery wherever it's most convenient for you. This flexibility really takes a lot of the pressure off, especially when you think about how frustrating it can be to find an open charging spot. With the MPP, you're less likely to run out of power while you're riding, and you don't have to worry about the hassle of searching for somewhere to charge. This system is great because it helps ease some of the big concerns people have when thinking about switching to electric bikes. Range anxiety is a real thing for a lot of folks, and if you're worried about finding a charging station, that can be a deal breaker. But with the ability to quickly swap batteries or charge at home, Honda is making it a lot easier for people to embrace electric vehicles, especially in cities where traditional charging infrastructure might not be as widespread or reliable. And it's not just about convenience, it's also making a big impact on the environment. Environmental benefits. This battery system is doing some serious work in helping out the environment, especially in the fight against climate change. The concept is pretty cool. It's not just about swapping batteries for electric vehicles, it's about making that whole process more sustainable by integrating renewable energy sources. Let's break it down and see how it all connects. The mobile power pack batteries are charged at these dedicated swapping stations. But here's where it gets interesting. Honda's vision is to have these stations linked up with clean energy, like solar or wind power. Basically, these stations would charge up the mobile power packs when there's an abundance of renewable energy available, like when the sun's shining bright or the wind is howling. This means the mobile power packs are not only being powered by clean energy, but they're also helping store that excess energy that might otherwise go to waste. It's like using the best times for renewable energy production to get batteries charged and ready to go, cutting down on our reliance on fossil fuels and shrinking the carbon footprint of city transportation. The mobile power packs aren't just about charging vehicles, they're also essentially portable energy storage units. During times when there's a surplus of renewable energy, say on sunny or windy days, these batteries can get filled up. Then, when energy demand peaks or renewable production dips, those same batteries can feed energy back into the grid. This helps keep the grid stable and ensures that clean energy is being used as efficiently as possible. So, these batteries are pulling double duty, powering vehicles and supporting the grid. Honda hasn't just been sitting on this idea, they've actually been putting it into practice. In places like Indonesia and the Philippines, they've teamed up with Panasonic and local partners to test out these battery swapping stations powered by renewable energy. These trials are part of Honda's effort to see how the mobile power pack system can help reduce greenhouse gas emissions, especially in urban areas where traffic and pollution are a big issue. The goal? To prove that swapping out batteries for clean energy-powered electric vehicles can make a real difference in cutting down the carbon footprint of cities around the world. The future looks pretty promising for Honda's mobile power pack system. As the company continues to roll out more swapping stations and expand its infrastructure, the environmental benefits are set to grow. We're talking about a world where more electric vehicles are on the road, fueled by clean, renewable energy, and the entire system is working together to fight climate change. By integrating mobile power packs with renewable energy sources, Honda is not only pushing for cleaner transportation, but also helping build a more sustainable urban future. And Honda isn't just talking about these plans, they're already putting them into action in some pretty exciting ways. Global trials and expansion. Honda's been busy taking its mobile power pack battery swapping stations for a global test drive, seeing how well the system works in different cities and countries. They're doing this to show that battery swapping can actually be a practical and effective solution for urban commuters worldwide, and they're really diving deep into understanding how it could fit into different markets. Let's start with Indonesia, where Honda teamed up with Panasonic and Pacific Consultants Limited to create a joint venture focused on testing these battery swapping stations. They rolled out MPPs to power electric motorcycles and used the trials to gather all sorts of data on how people use the service and how the swapping stations hold up in real-world conditions. This helped them get a better sense of how well the system works in a busy, bustling country like Indonesia, where motorcycles are a popular form of transportation. Over in the Philippines, Honda didn't slow down, setting up more battery swapping stations to support electric two-wheelers. These trials were all about figuring out how adaptable the MPP system is in a place with different traffic patterns, energy consumption rates, and, of course, user behaviors. They were basically testing out how the system would handle the unique demands of Filipino commuters and how people would take to using electric bikes and swapping batteries on the regular. In India, Honda took things to another level in 2021, expanding their trials to cover local auto rickshaws. These three-wheeled vehicles have a pretty high energy demand compared to motorcycles, so Honda had to test whether the MPP system could keep up with that kind of power need. It was a whole new challenge, dealing with the different usage patterns of rickshaws, which are often in constant use throughout the day, so this trial helped determine if the battery swapping system could work for vehicles with varying energy needs. And back home in Japan, Honda opened its first official battery swapping station in Tokyo in 2022. This station is kind of like a prototype, showing how the MPP system could integrate into urban environments. The idea was to create a model for other cities to follow, proving that swapping batteries could make urban transportation not only more convenient, but also more sustainable in the long run. All of these trials show that Honda's serious about promoting electric mobility and making sure its MPP system works for all kinds of riders, no matter where they are. Whether it's in Indonesia, the Philippines, India, or Japan, they're tailoring the system to meet the specific needs of each place. By doing this, Honda is helping pave the way for more electric vehicles on the road, which in turn could make a big difference when it comes to reducing greenhouse gas emissions and improving urban air quality. But Honda isn't stopping with just one type of vehicle. They've got a range of models benefiting from the mobile power pack. Applications in various models. The cool thing is that the MPP works across all these vehicles, making it a super handy solution for both personal and business use. Take the PCX Electric, for example. This electric scooter was rolled out back in 2018 and is all about urban commuting. It's perfect for city travel, and the MPP lets riders swap out the battery quickly when it runs low, so they don't have to waste time waiting for it to charge. It's designed to make getting around the city more convenient and less of a hassle, especially for people who need a reliable way to zip through traffic without worrying about running out of juice halfway through the day. Then, there's the Bentley E series, which came out in 2019. This one's designed with businesses in mind, especially for things like deliveries. The electric scooters in this series rely on the MPP for power, giving business owners the freedom to keep their operations running smoothly. Since the battery is swappable, workers don't have to deal with the usual downtime waiting for a charge. They can just pop out the empty battery and get a fresh one, making it way easier to keep the workday moving without interruptions. Fast forward to 2021, and Honda released the Gyro E and Gyro Canopy E, two three-wheeled electric scooters made for business users who need more stability and cargo space. These scooters cater to a whole different set of needs, as they're perfect for transporting goods around town. And just like the other vehicles, the MPP system lets users swap batteries quickly, so the scooters can keep running without long waits for charging. This makes them super efficient for businesses that rely on vehicles for deliveries or other essential tasks. Lastly, the EM1E launched in 2023, which is targeted at younger riders looking for a personal commuter scooter. The EM1E brings all the flexibility and ease of use that people expect from modern electric vehicles. With the MPP, it offers a smooth, user-friendly experience for daily commutes. Plus, the ability to swap out batteries makes it even easier to use on a day-to-day basis, giving riders the freedom to go about their business without worrying about finding a charging station or waiting around. Overall, these different vehicles really show how adaptable the MPP system is. Whether it's a personal scooter for city commuters or a business vehicle for deliveries, the MPP makes it easy to keep the electric vehicles running smoothly and efficiently. It's clear that Honda is committed to making electric mobility more accessible and practical, offering a variety of options to suit different needs. And it's not just about Honda leading the way. This innovation is influencing the entire industry. Industry-wide impact. When Honda launched its mobile power pack and got involved in the Swappable Battery Motorcycle Consortium, they set a big example for the industry. They basically kicked off the idea of creating a standardized battery system that could work across different brands, which made it easier for manufacturers to jump on board and start developing similar tech. By showing how convenient and practical swappable batteries can be, Honda pushed the industry to think more about user-friendly solutions and interoperability. This idea of swapping batteries didn't stop with motorcycles either. It's catching on in other corners of the EV market too. For example, in July 2024, a Spanish company called Acciona launched the nano-car Silence S04, a small urban electric car that offers a subscription-based service for swappable batteries. This is a pretty big deal because it shows that swappable batteries aren't just for bikes or scooters. They can work in cars too. And, just like with electric motorcycles, this system helps with some of the biggest consumer worries, like running out of battery power or having to wait forever for a charge. By offering a way to swap the battery quickly, Acciona is showing that this model could become a popular solution for people who want an easier, more flexible way to drive electric. On top of pushing swappable batteries, Honda is also working on improving battery technology itself. They're diving into solid-state batteries, which are kind of like the next big thing in the world of EVs. These batteries are supposed to have a higher energy density and last longer than the lithium-ion batteries we're used to. In November 2024, Honda opened up a demo facility in Sakura City, Japan, to showcase its plans to mass-produce these solid-state batteries. This move is huge because it could raise the bar for what's possible in battery tech, and it's bound to inspire other manufacturers to look into similar advancements. Of course, there are still some hurdles to overcome before this idea can go mainstream. Challenges and considerations. While Honda's advancements in swappable battery tech are pretty exciting and have the potential to make a big difference for electric vehicles, there are a few challenges that still need to be tackled if this idea is going to go mainstream. First off, we need a solid infrastructure for all these battery swapping stations. This means a lot of investment and careful planning to make sure there's enough coverage in the places where EVs are most popular, like big cities. It's not just about building a few stations here and there, it's about creating a network that's easy to access whenever you need it. China's CATL, for example, is planning to open 1,000 swap stations, with an ultimate goal of 10,000. That's a huge undertaking, but it shows how big this need could become as electric vehicles take off. Without a widespread network of stations, swapping batteries just won't be practical for most people. Another big hurdle is standardization. If battery swapping is going to be effective, the battery packs need to be pretty much the same across different manufacturers. Think about it. If every company has its own custom battery design, you can't just walk into any station and swap your battery for another brand. You'd have to find a station that specifically caters to your vehicle's brand, which would create a lot of confusion and inconvenience for users. For this to work on a global scale, the industry needs to come together and agree on a standardized battery design. Without that, we'll be stuck with a fragmented system, making it harder for users to benefit from swapping stations. Then there's the issue of safety and quality. When you're swapping batteries, there's a chance that the one you get could be worn down or even damaged. People are naturally concerned about whether they'll get a battery that's safe and in good condition. If users start receiving subpar batteries from swapping stations, that could cause major trust issues. To make sure this doesn't happen, there needs to be some kind of system to track the quality and condition of each battery. It's about giving users peace of mind that the battery they're getting is just as reliable as the one they gave back. Consumer behavior is another thing that could slow down the adoption of battery swapping. For a lot of people, the idea of swapping batteries instead of charging them is still pretty new. It's not just about understanding how it works, it's about changing the way people think about owning and using batteries. Some might feel attached to their own battery or just be used to traditional charging. Educating consumers on the benefits of swapping, like faster refueling times and fewer worries about battery life, will be key. Plus, some incentives might help nudge people toward making the switch. After all, a new habit is hard to form without a little push. Finally, there's the question of whether this whole battery swapping model can actually make financial sense. Building all the stations and maintaining them isn't cheap. And there's also the cost of the battery swaps or subscriptions that consumers would need to pay. Manufacturers and service providers need to figure out how to balance these costs with the benefits to both the users and the business. If the system isn't financially viable for everyone involved, it could have trouble getting off the ground. But even with all these exciting possibilities, there are still some things to consider before battery swapping becomes the go-to option. Consumer adoption. For Honda's swappable battery system to really take off, it's going to depend a lot on whether consumers actually want to use it. A bunch of different factors are going to play into that decision, so let's break them down. First, it's all about ease of use. If the process of swapping batteries isn't simple and quick, people won't bother with it. Ideally, swapping a battery should take just a few minutes. Think of it like stopping for a quick pit stop. This way, riders can keep moving without losing much time, which makes the whole idea way more appealing. For example, China's CATL is planning to open thousands of battery swapping stations across the country, aiming for 10,000 stations in total. This is a big push to make swapping more efficient and convenient, so it's an alternative to sitting around and waiting for your vehicle to charge up the traditional way. Next up, cost. If people feel like battery swapping is too expensive, they're not going to bother with it. The system has to be affordable, or at least offer some kind of cost savings over the traditional charging and vehicle ownership setup. This is where companies like Acciona in Spain are making moves. They've launched an urban electric vehicle called the Nanocar Silence SO4, and it comes with a subscription-based battery swapping service. This model is meant to make electric cars more affordable and give people a way to get around without worrying too much about things like driving range. If the costs line up with what people expect, or even offer some savings compared to regular EVs, more people will be interested in making the switch. But it's not just about cost. Accessibility is key too. No one wants to be driving around only to find that there's nowhere to swap their battery. A lot of people will only adopt battery swapping if they know they can easily find a station when they need it. Acciona is making moves to solve this by setting up swapping stations all around Spain, including at places like petrol stations and malls. The goal is to have over 200 stations by the end of the year. That kind of widespread availability will make swapping batteries a lot more practical for the average person. Now, standardization and compatibility are huge factors as well. If the system is all over the place, meaning some stations accept certain brands' batteries but not others, then consumers won't trust it. People need to know that they can go to any station and swap their battery without having to worry about whether or not it'll fit. Ideally, there should be a universal system that works across different manufacturers, so users aren't stuck searching for a specific type of station. The whole point of swapping is convenience, so making sure it's compatible and standardized is critical. But as we know, getting all the players in the industry to agree on one system isn't easy, and that's a challenge that still needs to be sorted out. Lastly, consumer education and trust go hand in hand. For people to feel comfortable using the system, they need to know it's safe and reliable. If they're not convinced that swapping batteries is a good idea, they'll just stick with what they know, charging up at home. That's why it's important to educate consumers on how the system works, how it benefits them, and why it's a solid alternative to traditional charging. Building up trust in the system and showing that it's reliable will go a long way toward encouraging people to give it a try. What do you think? Leave your thoughts in the comments below, and if you liked this video, don't forget to subscribe to our channel. See you in the next one.